The Black Lives Matter, legitimate Black Lives Matter, started with those kids in St. Louis or whatever who were mad that the dude got killed by the cops. Mm-hmm. Not George Floyd, but the other one, right, who got shot. Like, it was bad. All those kids got killed. They were politically assassinated. I don't know if you know that. Most of the original founders of the Black Lives Matter movement had suspicious death, like getting shot in cars and stuff like that.
No, I didn't.
And they were truly fighting against police brutality that was indeed going on. There is a need for some police reform. We do have some problems like that.
Sure.
Tamir Rice in Cleveland swinging on a swing and cops get off and then just shoot the kid on the swing. Like, what the fuck? This guy in Walmart is playing with a toy gun, Crawford, and the police show up and kill him in Walmart because he had a toy gun because they thought the gun was real. But Walmart's an open carry state where people commonly walk around with ARs on their backs. Make it make sense.
Yeah.
So there were legitimate issues there. And they used that to move it fast. COVID, though, oh my God. Talk about a wet dream for propagandists. Did you know? So I didn't forget my line of thought, but I do this. My stories are a little asymmetrical, but I'll get back to it. The ACLU held a symposium. Forget the date. Somewhere between the year 2000 and 2012, something like that. Recently enough.
Okay.
And that symposium was to answer one question. One question. If there was a disease with a 1%, maybe even 10%, but at least 1%, I'm going to go safe, I think it's 10%, but 1% kill rate. So we have this infectious global pandemic and it's killing 1% of the population. Will we support mandated vaccines? Yes or no? That's what the question was for the symposium. And guess what the answer was for the ACLU?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, okay. Back then, I guess. Okay. Back
Funny,
then, I guess
right?
That makes sense, yeah.
So I brought that up and asked someone from the ACLU in 2021 when I was like going crazy like everyone else about COVID and what are they doing and why are they acting like we're stupid.
Yeah.
And I asked them, hey guys, you did this symposium for the sole reason so you wouldn't have to operate out of fear. So you could operate with clarity of having already deep dived with these decisions in a time of luxury. And you wisely came up with no for something that's far more deadly in your theory, in your game planning, than what's really happening. Can you explain to me why you changed your position? And she says, this many people died. And I'm like, I know. He's like, they're really dying. It's real. And I'm like, I know, but you game planned this and more people were dying in your hypothetical situation. So are you telling me that you guys were just fucking around? Why should I be part of the ACLU and participate in these things in good faith if that whole thing was a waste of time? Because you're being completely dishonest. You're not taking your own recommendation. This is further complicated by the fact that we had plenty of found drugs that work. Anyway, let me get back to the CCP.
Okay.
You take over the school board, you take over city council. Because everybody else is focused on federal and not paying attention to local.
Yes.
Local city council and school boards have far more effect on your quality of life than federal election. Then once they take over the school boards and the city council, they start moving up the legislative ladder. And one of the first things they do when they capture these bodies is they just put in a bunch of commissions. Oakland's only posted by city charter have 3 or 4 commissions. The Port of Oakland, Police Commission, 2 others. We have like 40. We have 4 police commissions, 4 police commissions. One of them has more power than city council. They're an appointed body and they get to tell our cops what equipment they can use and not use with no law enforcement experience. That wasn't a means to real progress. That was a means to destabilisation. So once you've defunded the police, this is the cornerstone. They've messed up your education so your next generation can't read. They're illiterate. Literacy and writing and reading comprehension is the #1 thing that keeps people free.
Yeah.
This is why Frederick Douglass and other slaves, that's why they didn't let them read.
Yes.
So they get rid of that. Can't read, kids can't read no more. You know that black children in America are reading worse than pre-Brown versus Board of Education? Are you familiar with Brown versus Board of Education?
I've heard of it. I don't know the details.
Landmark civil rights case.
What year was that?
Like 50s, I think.
50s, okay.
Yeah. We're reading worse than the 1950s.
Yes, I can believe that.
How's that progress?
I mean, it's only a minority are reading
poor,
at proper
poor
level, right? Yeah.
Mostly minorities, but more poor.
Yeah. No. Sorry. I mean, a minority of.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
No problem. I think a minority of young black people, young black Americans are reading at the
illiterate.
Age level that they're supposed to be.
That's being generous. No, they're functionally illiterate.
Yeah.
It's the reality. I know. I work with them. They're not. They have no reading comprehension skill.
That's scary.
It's very scary.
Is that all? And that's across the nation?
This is across the nation.
Okay.
In these cities. Then you have the defunding of police and dismantling of public safety.
Yeah.
Then you have the weaponized fentanyl. The fentanyl is subsidized. Drugs used to make people a bunch of money. Anybody making money off fentanyl? You notice that?
Yeah.
We can track fentanyl. Did you notice that the time that we pulled out of Afghanistan was right when we saw the rise of synthetic opiates?
I didn't track it closely.
Take a look at that. Timing.
Yeah.
And then it gives more credibility to the theory that we were only there for those opiates.
Opium, yeah.
Because we were using it as slush fund for our asymmetrical war, anyway. But the point is that we pulled out of those theaters where opiates were like, opiate production was a very lucrative global trade. And when that's a luxury now. Everybody's synthetic now.
Yeah.
So China runs that through Hezbollah. You have Middle East terrorists, Hezbollah's involved. And then they're working with South American, Central American drug cartels. Now the Mexicans don't even do the hand-to-hand anymore. They found that out, the Hondurans and Venezuelans. And then they do the street stuff. So the black people in the hood have been completely cut out of the illicit drug trade. So we don't get that money in these black communities. And I'm not saying it's a good thing to have, but there still was money in the communities from these drug trades. In the 1980s, doing crack, you saw like millionaires, teenage millionaires. You see any teenage millionaires on fentanyl?
I mean, I'm not sure I want to, but
I don't want to.
Yeah.
I think it's terrible what was happening. The point is that the drugs are not what you think anymore.
I get you. Yeah.
The purpose of them, and granted, if you're not familiar with the opium wars, we did this to China.
Yeah.